Where truth meets fun. Wait till we have the thrill. We open his word to be fulfilled. And in this dark, we'll shine so bright. Get ready to be a lighthouse on the hill.
Hi everyone! Welcome back to Lighthouse on a Hill. You are so very welcome to this episode. Why don't we start off with a question? I have a question for you all. So, if you were to decide between yourself and others, who would you say you think about the most?
Lizzie, I think about others more for sure.
Okay, so Caleb thinks he thinks about others more. You too, Candace?
Lizzie! I would say others too.
Okay. So do you guys mind if I and our friends check your thoughts just to confirm that what you guys are telling me is true? Okay, Caleb, should we start with you? So we're going to just check one of your thoughts, one random thought, and we're going to see if it's a thought about yourself or others. Let's get into Caleb's mind. Okay, so for this task, we have to help Caleb put his thoughts together, just like a jigsaw. So which piece comes here after piece 1? Good job! What about after piece 2? What do you think? Wonderful! Okay, let's go to the bottom row now. What piece do you think goes here? Remember, we want to make a complete picture of Caleb's thought. You betcha! And beside it here, good job! And what about the last piece? Good job! Okay, good job. So thank you so much for helping us piece together Caleb's thought. So Caleb, obviously you've been thinking about being some sort of king of some sort of popcorn kingdom. Would you say that's a thought more about yourself or others?
Definitely myself, Lizzie.
Yeah, okay. Don't worry, it's Candace's turn. Candace, are you ready? Okay, let's get into Candace's mind. So, the same thing for this task. Let's see what Candace has been thinking about. What one do you think is piece number 1? What fits best with piece 2 here we see on screen? Okay, do we know what piece 3 is? Great job! How about piece 4? Wow, you guys are really getting this. Can you guess piece 5? That's wonderful. What about P6? Wonderful work. So we've put together both Candace's and Caleb's thoughts, a random thought, and it just so happened to be thoughts about yourselves. So would you change your mind if I asked you the same question? Do you think about yourself or others more often?
Ourselves.
Yeah, but guys, do not feel alone. I am the same way. And honestly, I think our viewers might say the same thing. As humans, we all have this struggle of being really self-focused and self-centered. And you know what? The Apostle Paul says something really wonderful in Philippians that I would love for us to meditate on as our Bible verse today. Candace, would you like to read for us? Great. So let's open up to Philippians 2, verses 3 to 4.
Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others.
Thank you for reading, Candace. Let's give our friends some time to study these verses. Remember, you can pause here and take all the time that you need to learn these verses off by heart. There are a lot of key words in these verses that we can learn from. First of all, let's look at the words, selfish ambition. That means putting your desires, your goals, your way above everybody else's. For example, when it comes to choosing first, are you always the person that will run to the front? Or do you sometimes let others go before you? There's another 2 words there. Vain conceit. Well, if you're someone that always runs to the front and puts your desires, your goals, your way above everyone else, the Bible calls that selfish ambition. That actually means that you think you are more deserving to go first. That is really what vain conceit means. It means you think that you are better than others and you deserve the best for yourself. But Apostle Paul calls us here to be humble. That means we must learn to put what we want to the side and to consider what the other people around us want. And you know what? In the next verses, Paul gives us the perfect example of how we can learn to be humble and to put others above ourselves. He tells us about Jesus. He is God. He created everything and he owns everything. But he came as a human so he could die for us. That is true humility, and that is true care for others around you before yourself. So we can definitely learn from Jesus.
Hey there! What did the candle say to the viewers? She said, subscribe!
Okay, our Newsflash story for today. You're right. We do not have any Newsflash story for today, but we do have some news for you. If you are someone like today's topic who has done something so kind, so generous, so thoughtful for someone else you've put someone else before you, I would love to hear from you. Not only I, but Candace and Caleb too. We would all love to hear from you. So you must get your parents' permission first, but then you can email us with your parents' help at lizzyslighthouse@gmail.com. So it's here on screen, lizzyslighthouse@gmail.com, with your story of how you've been kind, generous, or thoughtful of others, and maybe you will have a chance to feature in an upcoming episode. So we're all looking forward to reading your stories. Are we ready for the Lighthouse tale? Okay, I think we are. So, get ready. Today's Lighthouse tale, we are going to be hearing about different animals, so I want you to follow with me, okay? Let's see how many animals that you can remember at the end of the story. Let's get into it. Harriet the hippo was so hungry. She sat by the edge of the water in Pawland Park under a large acorn tree and sighed a loud sigh. Oh, I'm so hungry, she cried. Harriet hadn't eaten for 5 hours, but to hippos that felt like 5 long days. Not to mention that the hot August sun was beating down on her, making her tired and unable to catch some food. This was the case for most of the animals at Pawland Park during the hot summer months. Many of them remained hungry and thirsty while they hid under the shade in the afternoons when the sun was extra high and extra hot. I feel like I'm going to pass out from this terrible hunger. If only someone could help me find some food, she said. Harriet got the fright of her life as she saw Susie the squirrel peek out from a hole in the acorn tree. Did somebody say that they were hungry? Susie asked. Oh, yes, Harriet responded. Oh, yes, that was me. I'm so hungry, and I haven't eaten in 5 hours. Without delay, Susie the squirrel brought out 2 acorns from behind her bushy tail. Oh, well, I have 2 adorable acorns that I was going to eat for lunch. It's too much for one person. Would you like one? She asked Harriet the hippo. I would love one, Harriet said. After saying thank you, Harriet took an acorn from Susie's hand, and in one quick second, she gobbled it down. What a kind squirrel, she thought, though she was still very hungry. The hippo's belly was so large, and the acorn only filled a small part of it. As the afternoon sun got hotter, Harriet the hippo grew more hungry. I'm hungry as ever, she cried. Just then, Gary the giraffe was strolling by. Harriet's hungry voice reached his tall ears. Did somebody say that they were hungry? He asked. Oh, yes, that was me. I'm so hungry, I haven't eaten in 5 hours, Harriet said. As quick as a whip, Gary the giraffe brought down his long neck to show Harriet the leafy branches that he held in his mouth. I have some delicious greens here, and they are too much for one person. Would you like some? Yes, please. My hungry belly will even eat leaves. Harriet said thank you, and in a blink of an eye, she swallowed 5 leafy greens. Do you think that Harriet the hippo is filled up now?
No way. I think she will still be hungry.
Yeah! After a few leaves and one acorn, I would still be hungry.
Does anyone have some popcorn to give her?
I don't really know what animal eats popcorn, but we can get back into the story and see.
The acorn and the leaves have only filled up 10% of my belly, Harriet cried. And the sun is making me lose all my energy. I'm still hungry as ever, she said. Suddenly, there was a loud splash from the water, and out came Betty the bear, with one large fantastic fish hanging from her lips. Did somebody say that they were hungry? She mumbled. Oh, yes, that was me, Harriet said. Well, I have a tasty trout here, and it's too much for one. Would you like a share? Betty asked. Oh, yes, please. I would love some. Thank you, Harriet said. Betty gave Harriet more than half of the fish, and soon Harriet was licking her lips after savoring all the delicious flavor of the tasty trout. Even after eating more than half of a fish, Harriet the hippo's belly was still hungry. The sun is making me weak, and I need food for more energy, she cried.
Wow! She's still hungry?
Yeah, she's still hungry. Are there particular times during the day that you feel the most hungry, or you feel hungry the most?
When I wake up, I am always hungry.
Yeah, me too, Caleb. When I wake up, I'm usually very hungry. I think I would be most hungry in the mornings.
Sometimes when it's time for bed, I get really hungry.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Sometimes that's the same with me too. What about you guys? Yeah, we're all hungry at different parts of the day, but it seems like Harriet the hippo is just always hungry. Who knows how many animals we've been introduced to so far?
Wasn't it 4?
Yes, yes, good job. The answer is 4. So, of course, we know Harriet the hippo. Then we heard about Susie the squirrel who gave her the acorn. Then came Gary the giraffe. And now Betty the bear with the fish. You guys are keeping track. Let's get a bulb in the jar. And let's get back into the story. As Harriet was lying down under the extra hot sun, she starts to hear a strange clawing sound. Is that my belly rumbling? She thought. As she looked around to see where the sound was coming from, she sees a hole forming in the ground, and some moments later, Felix the fox pops his little head out from underground. Did somebody say that they were hungry? He asked. Oh, yes, me. I'm hungry, Harriet replied. Well, I have 2 juicy chickens, and it's too much for one person. Would you like some? Oh, yes, please. I haven't eaten for 5 hours. I'm so hungry, and that will fill me right up. Felix gave Harriet one large, juicy chicken. Oh, and how Harriet loved chicken. It was her favorite. Thank you, Harriet cried. This will fill my hungry belly right up. As Harriet thinks of how she will dig into her delicious meal, she hears a small, whimpering sound coming from the bushes behind her. Hello? Who's there? Harriet asked. It's Poppy the pig, Poppy says. Well, why are you crying, Poppy?
I'm so hungry, I haven't eaten in 1 week. The sun has been too hot for me to search for food. I heard you eating the delicious acorn, and the greens, and the leaves, and fish, and I can no longer hold myself as I smell the juicy chicken. Oh, Harriet says, you must be really hungry. Harriet remembers how hungry she was before all the generous animals shared their food with her. She couldn't imagine not eating for a whole week. She looked down at the chicken and said to Poppy, "This is too much for me. Would you like it?" Poppy the pig could not believe her ears. "Oh, yes, please," Poppy said with delight. "I'm hungry as ever." Poppy came towards the edge of the water and thanked Harriet for her generosity as she gobbled up the whole chicken. Her pig belly was now full, though Harriet's hippo belly was not. Together as friends, they stayed under the shade of the tree as they waited for the cool night to come along. Harriet was still not yet full, but she knew that being kind was more important than her hungry belly. She also knew that things were shared with her to show her how to share with others. So that's the story of Harriet the hippo and her hungry belly. What do you guys think of the story?
I think it was good. I learned that it's good to share.
Yes, and to think about what other people are going through. Like Harriet thought of Polly the pig.
Exactly. Good job, you guys. Another bulb into the jar. It is really good to share and to consider other people's feelings before our own, like Harriet did when she saw Polly the pig really hungry. You know what that reminds us of? It reminds us of our Bible verses today from Philippians 2. Why don't we read it again? Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. So we learned so much about the animals, our friends at Pawland Park. They taught us a lot about sharing. All of them were just sharing their food with Harriet the hippo when she was hungry. So why don't we share something with them? Yeah, we have a bag of food here. Would you like to help us feed the animals at Pawland Park? I'm sure they're going to be really happy to see us. I want you to tell us what animal will eat what, okay? So we have a random bag of food here. I will call out the name of the food, and you tell me what animal would actually eat that, because I'm sure not every single animal will eat everything from this bag. So let's give the animals what they will like. Can you help me do that? Okay, let's go. First up in the bag, we have some leaves. What animal do you think will eat these? Do you think it's the tiger, the giraffe, the rabbit, the horse, the bird, the chicken, or the monkey?
The giraffe!
Yes, great. Let's give the leaves to Gary the giraffe. I think he will really appreciate that. Next in the bag is a carrot. What animal do you think will eat that?
Is it the rabbit?
Yes, exactly.
Let's give this one to Robin the rabbit. I think he will love this one. Okay, next up are some seeds. Who will eat the seeds?
It's the chicken.
Yes, you're right. Charlie the chicken will appreciate these ones. Let's give it to him. How about this large piece of meat? Should we give it to the bird?
No, Lizzie! That's for the tiger!
Great! Tunde the tiger will love this. Let's give it to him. What about this large bale of hay?
Horses eat hay.
Yes, Hamza the horse will love this one. Let's give it to him. And these worms? Should we give it to the monkey?
Yes, why not?
No, these worms are for blessing the bird. She's gonna love that. What about the banana?
Oh, I know! The monkey!
Yes, you're right. Molly the monkey will appreciate this one. The animals really loved their treat. Thank you so much, guys, for helping them give out their food at Pawland Park. Hopefully we see them again in another episode. Would you guys like to see them again in a future episode? I would too. So we're coming to an end of another episode. Thank you so much for spending time with us here at Lighthouse on a Hill. I have another challenge for you guys. I want you this week to share something with someone at least 3 times. So it could be your favorite toy, it could be some of your food, maybe some chocolate that you really want for yourself. Why don't you think of sharing that with a friend, someone in school, or maybe your sister or brother? It could be anything, but I want you to think of other people's needs and their wants before your own today. It could even be your parents. And I want you to think about the Bible verses we looked at Philippians, thinking about other people's interests before our own. When we think about how much God has blessed us, we are then free to bless others. So go out and be blessings to people. And I'll see you in our next episode on Lighthouse on a Hill. God bless you guys.
And in this star will shine so bright. Get ready to be a lighthouse on the hill. Say, oh.